So in the last video, we finished setting up a WordPress plugin to stream out-of-date WordPress plugin information over to Elasticsearch. In this video, we'll focus on reviewing my setup for Heartbeat. And Heartbeat will basically tell you when any of your websites are down. And we're also using Heartbeat to ping the URLs or the plugins that will transmit out-of-date WordPress plugin information to Elasticsearch. Now, all this has already been done, so I don't think this video will be too long. I'm just reviewing my setup with you all. And I'll talk about the email alerts and general alerts in a later episode. And just like the other beats, I already have some videos made about Heartbeat. If you click to the Elasticsearch Beats playlist and you scroll all the way down, there's a Heartbeat 1 and Heartbeat Part 2. So if you want extra information about Heartbeat, you can always watch those episodes. But again, we've pretty much already, or out of the box, I've already set all this stuff up for you, and you can just make additions to it. So let me come back to our Elasticsearch server. So this is the terminal window for our Elasticsearch project. And let's go into the GitHub project. And let's go into the ES directory. And in here, we should see a Docker Compose YAML file, which we talked about in the very first episode. And I already explained the setup service, the Elasticsearch service, and the Kibana service, but I skipped over the Heartbeat service and the Logstash service. So again, I won't talk about Logstash until a later episode when we talk about email alerts. But in this episode, we'll just talk about the Heartbeat service. So this Heartbeat service will spin up as soon as the Elasticsearch service is healthy. Then we'll just pull this image, which is the Heartbeat image from the Elasticsearch repositories. And then I'll have a few volumes mounted. So I'll volume mount the search directory just so I can gain access to the certificate authority that was used to sign ES01, because Heartbeat will send information to the ES01 service. And inside the Heartbeat container, there is a virtual directory or guest directory for data, and we'll volume mount that to our own volume here, Heartbeat data 01, which is defined at the top of this file. So this way, every time we restart Heartbeat, it'll still persist some data across each restart. And then we will bind mount the configuration file for Heartbeat YAML. And we're also going to define some monitors ourselves. So I'm going to bind mount that directory as well. So we'll review this configuration file in a moment. And then we're just passing in the usual parameters that Heartbeat would need to get up and running. So that's all. That's pretty much all there is for this service. So let's take a look at the configuration file, because I've bind mounted it to this beats directory in Heartbeat here. And if I look at this file, there's really nothing special to it. It's really pretty much the default that comes with a Heartbeat when you download it. Except this, I think you can change the location here to whatever location you feel is relevant to your situation. I just left Madrid, Spain here because it was a demonstration that I was doing for some other people earlier. So you can see the connection to Elasticsearch here and the connection to Kibana here. These were passed in as environment variables through the Docker Compose file. And here, there's a directory called monitors.d, and we're going to monitor that in real time, or we'll check it periodically every 5 seconds. If there are new files thrown into this directory, Heartbeat will automatically reload it every 5 seconds. So let's actually take a look at what is in this monitors.d directory. And remember, this directory is bind mounted to the Docker instance. And I gave you 2 files. We really could have done this all in one file, but I thought it would be sensible to separate them as 2 files because they reflect 2 different types of functionality. If you look at WordPress.yaml, You can see the URLs that I'm pinging, right? For all 6 of our websites. You can change the schedule. I consider a 200 HTTP response a success, but you can list a few more if you want. And yeah, that's pretty much it. And then I have another file called WordPress plugin, which is exactly the same structure and schema, but I just list different URLs. So I thought it made sense to separate these plugin URLs from the base URLs because they reflect 2 different problems that we're trying to solve. So we are pinging these plugin URLs every minute, but if you recall from our previous episode, we have a throttling behavior on each one of these plugins that only sends information to Elasticsearch once every 12 hours. But you can certainly change the schedule of that throttle and also change the schedule here within Heartbeat. So for you, if you have other websites you want to monitor, you can just continue to add them to either of these lists or start a completely new YAML file with new URLs. And as soon as you do that, just restart Docker and things should be fine. And after you've added new URLs to any of those WordPress YAML files or new YAML files inside the monitor.d directory, you'll automatically see them appear under the observability uptime. Right, so they'll start to be visible here in this list. So that's pretty much all there is for this video on talking about Heartbeat. In the next video, we'll talk about integrating Clam antivirus with our overall Elastic platform.